Good news, I bought myself a dust collector. A Harbor Freight 2-stage dust collector. Bad news is, it's been sitting in my garage unassembled for a couple of months now. Now, with this downtime and working at my home office, you can see, now it's time to put it together. So this is the spot where I originally thought I would hang my dust collector. Right below my lumber rack, right next to my clamp rack. The trouble is, I got more lumber, and I really need one more lumber rack to get all the stuff off the floor. And I said, a mobile cart's probably the better answer. So that's what I'm building. So I got this cart from Brendan, and I converted it, took off the top of it and made it a double and reinforced bottom, and made a vertical column at the back where the motor will sit. So now all I have to do is take this piece of plywood, drill some bolts holes through there, bolt it in, and end up mounting it at the top of my cart. So after I marked the locations for the holes for the bolts, I took it over to my desktop and drilled the holes to get ready to mount it. The key was to get your engine mounted nice and secure. That's why I used bolts on this frame to make sure that that was going to be nice and tight and it wasn't going to fall off, and used lock washers on the back side to secure it nicely to this piece of plywood. Then I'm going to take this piece of plywood and screw it into the frame through the upright portion of the cart so it'll be secure. So this engine is heavy enough that it takes a little bit of managing to be able to get over on its side so you can get it assembled. Minimum distance for the line, of which the clearance for the edge of the vent or the intake is going to be, so we have about a 1 inch extra from there to give me at least 3 inches or 4 inches clearance between there and the turn for the garbage can to be the intake. So after I had the motor positioned at the top of the cart with enough clearance for the intake to go into the garbage can for the suction. All right, let's see if it works. Over. Has a weight on this side. Roll it about. Vent here matches up with this here. So I've decided that I need to have a little support that will come out to hold this up on this side and this side. It has these screw holes right there. So I'm going to cut a post that's going to be this high, be 55 inches, and have one on either side. All it's going to do is hold this thing up on the cart. So my vertical post, I'm going to line up with these holes here. It's going to be up here, so I have one on the other side where I have it spaced out just enough so that exhaust port will fit into the exhaust port over there. And so this is going to be the post, so we're going to line it up with here and screw it into there. After I sawed this 2x4 in half, I chamfered the edges so it's not sharp, pre-drilled the holes so they just poke out. Now, clamp this in place as best I can. So I use a couple of boards and clamp those across the two support pieces to allow my funnel to sit up there so I can determine the best location. So based upon the configuration, it was better to have the funnel skewed to one side, and then I had a little spacer block on the right side there to be able to make that happen and get it aligned perfect. So I had to use some longer screws than they came through this side over here. That's okay, I'll use my Dremel and cut those off, but it's standing by itself. That's good enough. I'm working all day to get ready to try this. Only thing I don't have hooked up yet is an outfeed hose, and we'll just stick one of these hoses on there. I'm not expecting the lower bag to stay on, it's just kind of clamped up there. So we'll have a look at that in here in a minute. All right, here's our test. Ready, aim, fire. Need to put the band on to hold the bag in, and then we'll be in good shape. Here's today's project. So this is my current setup with my new dust collector. I have it hooked up to the table saw. This serves as my outfeed table. And when I'm not using the table saw, I'm going to change my dust collector to a bandsaw. I'll wheel the bandsaw out. Can plug it in, hook up the dust collector, and the same thing over here for my joiner. So if you like this video on installing the two-stage dust collector, give us a thumbs up. Want to see more of our woodworking projects, consider subscribing down below. And as usual, come back and see me real soon.